I'm Alan Lord, and if you're watching this video on our YouTube channel, you know who I am. But what you don't know is, with me is Tom Gerbus. We're sitting at the Hilton Garden Inn in Boca Raton, Florida. And I'm going to have, this is the first of our videos. We're calling them A Beer with Alan, although Tom moved his drink and he doesn't have his beer with me. And what we're going to do is a little interview so that you can get to know some of our classmates. So Tom, what we want to do is introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about what you've done through high school, and then we'll talk about your family and some of your passions, and we'll just take 5 or 10 minutes to talk to people.
Okay. Hi everybody. Welcome to class of 1968. It seems like it's been an eternity here for quite a while, but I live in lovely South Florida. I've been down here since 1978, and we'll go back from the start of 1969. I was fortunate enough to get a number 69 in my draft notice. I did attend the University of Cincinnati for almost 2 years. Then I went to visit Uncle Sam for a while. I got out of the Army and I worked at National Distillers for 2 years. And let's see, I'm trying to trace back a little bit of there. And I didn't quite really enjoy that. I did go to a stationary engineer school, trying to learn how to work and run a power plant. I did get a job in Florida with Florida Power and Light, but the messages were relayed to me too late, so I never made it. And I went into the sales field starting around 1972, and I traveled Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, and southeastern Kentucky. I ended up living in Louisville for almost 10 years prior to my move to Florida. And in between that, different things went on, what young single guys do, and had a pretty exciting life up till the time that I decided to move to Florida.
So, what made you decide to move to Florida?
Oh, it's funny you asked that. I went through the 2 blizzards in 77 and 78. I told my buddies in Cincinnati and Kentucky, if you want to see me anymore and be standing on that bridge, because the weekend after the last Kentucky Derby that I attended, I had headed south to Florida, and I've been here ever since.
So, in Florida, how did you spend most of your career?
Well, I worked at Pratt & Whitney for about 6 months to a year. I really didn't like it. I got an interview with a wine and spirits distributorship in Miami. The name of the company was Hartley & Parker.
What, they gave you a bunch of free samples and that's why you liked it, or what?
Just a few.
Oh, okay.
Nothing big. I started out selling wine, and I was homesick. I hadn't really met too many people that I knew and liked in Florida, so I came back home in March. And if anybody's familiar with that road at 75 that comes down and you see the greater Cincinnati area, it was dreary, wet, miserable, cold. I said, why am I even here? But I looked around, and while I was at home for about a week, I luckily got a phone call, and the company that I was with wanted me to come back to work for them, and I never left them, but they wanted to give me a wholesale job selling wine and spirits. So that pretty much started my kickoff of my career with them. And I left them and I worked for another company called Southern Wine and Spirits. And I was with them for 10 years. And I left with them and I became involved with a company called Palm Beach Crown McKesson. And then went on to work with them and I worked basically the last 28 years with them in Bacardi.
So you retired now?
I am retired. I have a little business on my own now. The name of the company is Sure Plus Mirrors out of Chicago. And if you're interested what that is if you ever look at a tractor trailer truck, all the mirrors that are hanging on the doors or out on the front fenders, I resell those.
So you're retired, but you're not really retired.
I am retired, play a lot of golf, and work a couple days a week.
What about family life?
I have a great family. I have a beautiful wife, 2 children, and a new grandbaby.
What you all don't know is his wife is right there, so he's being really good.
My wife's name, by the way, forgot to say, her name is Jackie, and we've been married 34 years.
Okay, so your mother's still alive.
My mom is still alive. She's 95. God bless her.
And so I know that you spend quite a bit of time with her, and that might keep you away from the reunion.
It's a possibility. We're planning on different things, but you just don't know at 95 what could happen.
Okay. So what are your kind of outlook into the future? I mean, you want to keep your Sure Mirror business for a long time, or you're going to phase out of it? You don't know?
To be honest with you, I haven't thought about it. I have a manager that lives in Atlanta. He never bothers me. You know, it's just enough to keep me out of the house and keep me out of getting in trouble with my wife.
That sounds pretty good. Okay. What other kind of things would you like to share with the class? Anything?
Well, I just want to tell you, I've watched some of the videos from YouTube, and you guys all look pretty healthy, strong, vigorous. I remember, you can't remember what certain people look like when you're there, but I do remember a few of the names, Jerry Newman, Gary Hoffman. I recognized you guys. I recognized your voices actually more than I did by facial features. Bob Casey.
Of course, your cousin.
My cousin, Glenn Gerbus. Let's see, who else did I... Oh, by the way, I do remember, not to slide in any of the other women, hi, Linda. You look just about like you did when we were in high school together.
Which Linda are you talking about?
I'm sorry, Linda Vance.
All right, Buchan. She'll be happy to hear that. And those of you that don't know, Linda and I have been probably the 2 most active people on helping to organize the reunion. Okay, well, we wanted to keep these little introductions kind of short so that people would watch them. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I don't make it up there. I hope you guys all have a great time. Everybody be careful, and hopefully if there's another reunion in another 4 or 5 years, maybe we'll all be so old we probably won't even remember what the 50th one was about, but hope to see somebody in between here.
Well, I keep telling people that our last reunion was at the 25th, and now this is the 50th. I decided we better have one because we couldn't wait another 25 before we had another one. So that's it for here. We're going to say good night. We hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll try to have some more of these. Look forward to our next one, which will be with Kathy Rutland in San Francisco, California, which we're going to get to see her in about 3 weeks. Oh, I also want to introduce, we're going to introduce Tom's wife. Come on. Oh, we want to make sure we introduce the spouses when they're here. Some of you have met my wife.
No, you sit.
No.
Oh, I wanted a photo bomb.
No, we're not going to let you do that.
This is my wife, Jackie.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for giving him such a great time when he was in high school. Really, it's nice to meet everybody, even by YouTube. And, of course, Alan and Martha have been, thank you. I'm a little brain lapse there. Martha have been great. So I wish you all the best. Wonderful reunion. It's the best to get together and reconnect with old friends. That's what it's all about. So I'm happy to meet you by video, and I wish you all the best.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Goodbye.